Hannibal meets Mistborn? Say no more. Okay, hey dear, Zimzi here with a fantasy novel I was super stoked about as soon as I heard it pitched as Hannibal meets Mistborn. If you know anything about me, I am absolutely obsessed with Hannibal, Brian Fuller's Hannibal. You probably have seen it if you follow me on Twitter. Sorry about that. But anyways, the book I am talking about today is Helm of Midnight by Marina Lostetter. And this book starts off with a daring heist where thieves make off with a dangerous magical artifact, which is the death mask of the notorious serial killer Louis Charbon. And this mask is imbued with his spirit and his knowledge. And this serial killer was infamous and known for leaving a calling card, which was arranging his victims into blooms. He arranged them into flowers. So there's kind of the Hannibal inspo in there for you. But this new copycat killer that is now on the loose, he adds his own unique twist and goes after a very certain kind of victim, Jack the Ripper style. So now it's up to a regulator named Krona to try to find the perpetrator in a race against time, and as she's trying to find them, she starts uncovering some very disturbing truths. Yeah, there is a lot going on in this book. It is genre bending. It's including steampunk, crime procedural, and epic fantasy elements here. And the world building is super intricate and complex. And it has a really cool emotional based magic system, which really helps with the psychological aspects of this story. But I'll get more into the magic system later. But definitely I'll say the standout star of the series so far is the world building. So this world has 5 different patron deities. There's nature and time, and I can't remember the others off the top of my head, but there's also the original chief god Thalos, who is currently locked away in a pit. And of course humans are stupid and are mining resources for imbuing magical enchantments. Like, that's where they get their magic from. And what could go wrong there? I think something's gonna go wrong there. But they also have magical masks that are imbued with spirits of people. Like, it's a death mask. When people die, you put in their knowledge, and it could be like for a healer, it could be a super charismatic person, and it transfers their abilities over. But the issue is there's kind of like the residing spirit, and they might have a will of their own and try to carry out their original owner's will. So things can go seriously wrong there. And I just think it's a super cool idea with the magical masks. It reminds me of Majora's Mask, where you equip masks for Link and it gives you different abilities and skills. And I just think that's really cool. And then for the emotions, it's like there's an emotion tax. So you get your emotions like despair or joy, or I wish they could take anxiety and depression away from me because I have loads of it. I could sell it on the black market and make a quick buck. But it can give you like confidence, or it can make someone super, super like depressed and fall into despair. And there's so many cool angles to that and ways to play around with that. So it's cool having an emotional magic system because I'm just filled with so many emotions. I could weaponize that or use it for the better and good. Then for the patron deity of time, time says that time should be shared. So there is also a time tax. Time is the currency of this world. So like minutes, hours, days, you sell basically your lifespan. So rich people naturally live longer and poor people live shorter lives. And there's kind of this sense of brewing unrest, and people feel like the world and setup is a little bit unjust, and stuff is going on in the background of this world, which I really look forward to exploring later. However, all this world building comes as a bit of a double-edged sword. So yes, the world is getting really filled out and fleshed out, and it's really cool and awesome to read about. Like, I love reading about the lore of the world. However, I feel like the actual serial killer plot gets put on the back burner a bit. It feels almost like a afterthought, because this is indeed the first in a trilogy, and this feels like an introduction. It feels like we're setting up to this grander battle scheme with conspiracies going on, but the whole serial killer plot of the first book is almost an afterthought, and I felt like a lot of the book, especially with it has like three main-ish point of views. Like, there's a character named Melanie. I felt like a lot of her backstory could have actually been cut out, and I felt like the story could have just used a little bit more focus. And one other thing I do want to say is I wasn't particularly attached to any of the characters except for two. So one being Louis Charbon, who is the notorious serial killer, and we get his point of view and the story of how and why he became a serial killer, and that part was fascinating. And then the other one is a side character who I think his name is like Thibot? I'll just call him Tibbet. But he is a pansexual weasel and collector of gossip and secrets, and I just love me some weaselly characters. That's who I gravitate towards, so I love him. Alright, even though I had some issues with like the focus of the story and I wasn't as in love with the other characters, I am so in for the conspiracy and intrigue and seeing more of the world, because it just has so much potential. So if you're looking for like an innovative, new, and refreshing fantasy series, I think you'll have a fun time with this one. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you have any new fantasy series recommendations, let me know down below, because I just love my speculative fiction. But thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you on the flip side. See ya!